Hello everyone and welcome. Those of you who've watched my previous video will know that this is a recap of the breakthrough scenario called Coldstream Hill from the breakthrough expansion. For a change, it's not a scenario I designed myself, but one designed actually by somebody else, an official scenario that I played. And in the previous video I explained the kind of strategy I would try to employ for both sides, and I guess that went pretty well. As you can see, the British won. Those of you who watched the previous video also may have noticed that I set up the board using American figures. I just looked at the board and I saw the green pieces, so I automatically put American figures there, but I forgot that that actually happens a lot in Memoir scenarios, that you see American pieces and silhouettes and that they might actually be other allied nations. So I exchanged them for British pieces, as they should be, I suppose. So as you can see, it was a British win, 12 to 8, I believe. Yeah, 12-8 they won. And as you can see, there are very few German pieces left on the board. There are 2 elite tanks left over here, mobile artillery unit, and an infantry unit. And the British also captured this hill hex, which actually gave them the last medal. I thought that would be fitting to try and do that, to also try and take an objective rather than just eliminating enemy pieces. I didn't find this the most enjoyable breakthrough scenario I've ever played. Obviously, and this is a disclaimer, I've only played it once. I may have played it back in the day as well, a very long time ago, but to be quite honest, I don't really remember that. But I might have played it before when the expansion first came out. I find the scenario to be a bit static. That is, you do have some attacks in the beginning over here when there are minefields, but those minefields, they don't really do much. They're very easily cleared by the British engineers, opening a path for the British forces, which is, of course, the idea. That's what you have engineers for. But yeah, not a single minefield actually went off, and it was very easy to clear a path, and not much the Germans could do about it. And then the Germans did kind of form a second line of defense, more or less, in the middle of the board over here. But yeah, I just decided to keep pressing with the British. But at a certain point, you might have said there was a kind of stalemate where lots of British pieces were formed. How do you say that? Were kind of concentrated in those forest hexes, and the German pieces were over there, and each side was waiting for the other one to move. And as I said, I just kept on pushing with the British as it seemed fitting, since they are the attacking party in this scenario, and just to wait for the other side to do anything, and to just exchange shots from a distance didn't seem like the most fun, but might have been at that point the best option for both sides to take. But I found that to be pretty boring, so I kept pressing. I do also feel, and again, I cannot make a very strong opinion on that, a valid opinion, because I've only played it once. I do feel this scenario kind of favors the British a bit, simply because they have more pieces, and as you can see, they have quite a few pieces left, even in the background, in the rear, that they never even used or had to use much. And unlike those scenarios that use the D-Day format, where you actually have ground reinforcements, the board really tends to thin out a lot. Obviously, that's what happens in most Memoir scenarios if you're not using the what was it called, overthrow or breaklord format, which I usually play, which I enjoy a lot, which means that you have multiple breakthrough boards next to one another. I've actually designed a couple of those scenarios myself. To make the scenarios slightly more balanced, and again, I'm not saying that this is 100% accurate because I haven't played it enough, but I feel it might have been more fun if you actually made it a prerequisite for the, if you made it mandatory for the British forces to capture at least one medal, which they did now, but I think it would be definitely possible to take 2 medals. So that might be worth trying, to actually try and take both objectives and you know, so that you win as long as you have those both objectives and 12 medals. So those two objectives would have to be part of those 12 medals, and potentially you would need to score more than 12 medals then, as long as you don't have those two objectives. I don't know how historically accurate that would be, or if it's even needed. I mean, I could play this scenario a couple of more times. But while I may not have that much experience with this particular scenario, of course I do have quite a lot of experience playing Memoir. I don't know how many games I've played, but certainly hundreds, if not more. Well, not thousands, so hundreds. So yeah, I do kind of feel that this is a valid and honest opinion of the scenario, but multiple plays might yield a different picture. I don't think I'm going to play the scenario again anytime soon, but I do intend to play some more breakthrough scenarios and see how those go, because that really is my favorite format. And well, that is the D-Day expansion kind of format is my favorite one, but it takes so much time to play, because you need multiple decks, multiple units, all those ground reinforcements. So it really takes a long time then, and I don't always have that time. But it's certainly fun to play a breakthrough map every now and then, because it's quite easy to finish in a couple of hours, and it's more satisfying to me than a regular Memoir board would be. There are a couple of exceptions from the Eastern Front. I remember some Stalingrad scenarios that were really fantastic, even though they used the standard board. But overall, I prefer these larger ones. So those are my findings when it comes to this scenario. Soon I intend to work on another double breakthrough map scenario, so Breaklord Overthrow, whatever it's called, and it's going to be on Operation Bagration, on the Russian major offensive in the summer of 1944, so I'm going to start working on that one soon. For now, I hope you enjoy this little battle report, and see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.